John and Linetia Show.
We would like to thank Indiana Senator Dick Lugar for joining us the last hour.
His name is Dick Lugar. It's like Peter Gunn, but not really.
Why is it so easy to amuse you?
It is.
Weird man.
Dick Lugar. Oh, anyway.
So much in the news lately.
Hey, so there's lots of things about them's gays getting married.
I see.
All started by Mr. Joe Biden
Yes.
last weekend, talking about how he was okay with it, and a few people in the Obama cabinet came out and said they were okay, and then all of a sudden, Mr. Obama comes out and says that he thinks that gays should be allowed to marry.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Do you think this is a political move?
Apparently it's a political issue because denying rights to gay people has been kind of a Republican platform for a long time.
Okay. And people who aren't Republican. There are people who are against it who are not Republican.
I guess,
Yeah.
but it tends really to be a very conservative type stance. The idea that just because you're gay, you're not afforded the same rights as everybody else. So,
Right.
I don't know. It's so far it's been a very interesting reaction. I think what was interesting is like the Fox News anchor Shepard Smith said that or teased it or tagged it when he was first reporting on it on Fox News channel that the president was finally getting into the 21st century.
That was unnecessary.
Well, in a way, I think it was very interesting because it really was a backhanded slap on the Republicans and the conservatives. Because what happened right after that is you had Mitt Romney affirming his belief that marriage is between one man and one woman. And this sanctity of the family and the sanctity of marriage then was also talked about by 4 times divorced Rush Limbaugh. So
you know that the highest rate of divorced people are heterosexual marriages.
well,
That's amazing, isn't it?
Well, heterosexual compared to what? I mean, there hasn't been enough, enough gay marriages out there to really, do that rate. I mean, ultimately, everybody who argues against it will talk about it in some sort of religious terms, or they'll talk about it in some sort of terms as if it's a threat to families and a threat to family values. And the strange thing about that is that none of these same people would support a ironclad law basically outlawing divorce because a lot of these people who are saying this stuff have been divorced in the past. So you want to talk family values, pretty much if you're going to cling to that and you're going to cling to the Bible especially, and you've been divorced, you are a hypocrite.
I don't think that it is right to deny people for someone that they love.
Right.
If they want to love another woman, and a man wants to love another man, hey, I don't believe that we should even get involved in that. That is really none of our business.
Right. And pretty much if as a country we're going to have a certain set of, let's say, laws and rules and things like that apply just to married people, and I'm talking about things like tax laws and things like inheritance type things and insurance and stuff like that. Then it should be applied to whether it's same sex or different sex, married.
I don't think it should matter. Love is love. And everybody knows I go to church every Sunday. I do.
Yeah.
I go to church every Sunday, and we are not taught to be prejudiced against people. We are taught to walk the same way that Jesus walked, and Jesus loved everybody, regardless of who they are and what they were.
Yeah, he loved his enemies. He loved hookers. He loved his disciples. He even loved Judas.
He loved everybody.
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 Regardless.
Even prostitutes.
He loved everybody.
Right.
So all I'm saying is that, what kind of price do we put on love? I don't understand, and we've done stories about this before, about people being, discriminated against because of their sexual preferences. I don't even see a problem with this. I don't even see why this is even affecting anybody. Who cares?
Yeah, it should be a slam dunk, because really all of the arguments of anybody against this issue are very scary, reminiscent of when people were against interracial coupling, or when people were against even affording African Americans rights and things like that, and so it's ultimately it's an interesting form of bigotry right now.
It is.
And you gotta wonder, wonder 20 years, 30 years down the line, when it finally is, let's say, more accepted amongst more people, how people are going to look back on how they acted, and will they or won't they feel ashamed?
And we're not the ones who have to answer to this. Let that be between them and whoever they worship.
There you go.
Let that go.
There you go.
Man. Something else, there's just so much in the news. Something I wanted to bring up. And did you see that new Time magazine cover?
I did.
And
it's hot.
For those of our listening audience who has not seen this.
That's right. I'm holding it up. Take a look at the screen.
The latest Time magazine cover has a picture. Yeah, no one can see you.
Okay.
Yeah, has a picture of a woman with her son.
Her 3-year-old son.
Her 3-year-old son, sucking on her breast. And the article is called, "Are You Momming Up?"
Right. So apparently it's a Time magazine article which is about kind of, what is it, the 20th anniversary of a book written by Dr. Barry Sears.
Correct.
About attachment parenting.
Yes.
In which the concept of breastfeeding a child later than I think most society would think is good enough is one of the tenets.
Yeah, now I don't have any children. I just want to say that, okay?
Right.
Maybe I don't understand completely the attachment between a mother and their child, even though I did have parents. But it's different when you have your own child.
Right.
But what I will say is, one, I am not liking this cover. I think it's just too much. It's just too much, And number two, I don't think that a 3-year-old child should still be breastfeeding.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of strange.
I don't understand it to the point of a newborn basically has no teeth, is not able to really have solid food, and whether it's breast milk or whether it is formula for the newborn. I mean, that essentially is what they need for sustenance.
Right.
It's what they need to grow, okay? And then eventually what happens is you get to a certain point where, okay, you're now able to give the baby food, first soft food, and then eventually some kind of hard food. So my feeling on the whole subject is that if the 3-year-old is getting all of his sustenance from his mom still, then okay, fine, whatever. But ultimately, this is sort of like snack time, and that doesn't seem to make any sense to me as far as there's no biological reason for it. I don't see any, if she wants to do it, fine. I would still say that's kind of weird.
I think it's weird too.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do? What about when your kid goes to school? Kids are in school 2-3 years old now.
Right.
I mean,
right. Well, I mean, ultimately, what's the way I look at it is that this kid's going to be made fun of, especially now. My goodness, when this kid's a teenager,
right? This is still
and he goes to school. They better make sure that this kid's a weightlifter or as a football player or a jock or something, because he's going to be teased relentlessly. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be doing a lot of the teasing. I'm going to find the kid as a teenager, and I'm going to tease him relentlessly.
I just think this is outrageous. This is just outrageous for me. Just so much. And as I was reading this article, it said that there is no long-term study that proves the benefits.
Right.
None.
Or no long-term studies to prove the detriment.
That's true too.
Yeah.
Except for the weirdness of it.
Well, it's only weird because it's not, something that we would consider normal. But it's sort of like, hey, when in other countries they eat dogs and they eat cats as a delicacy, we would look at that as weird too. People in India look at us with all of our cow, food from cows and look at us as weird. So
maybe I should look at this again as I don't care.
Maybe
I should just say I don't care. Do whatever you need to do with your child. All I know is if this, how old is she? I forgot how old she said she was.
Like 26.
Yeah, 26.
26-year-old woman. If if she's going to whip it out, then I hope she has enough to feed everybody.
She said she nursed till she was 6. Wow.
Yeah. All right.
Wow.
All right. We'll be right back after these words from the Chicago Cubs, who want to remind everybody good seats are still available. So come on out and watch us try.
Oh, never mind. You're listening to the John and Linetia Show.